And we're back. Welcome back. My name is Lisa Woods. I'm with Realcomm, and I am here with Jorge Blanco, who is the Chief Commercial Officer with Altus Group. Hi, Jorge. How are you?
How are you, Lisa?
I'm doing great. So, what do you think of the conference so far?
Best of the 3 years that I've been here.
Really?
Really active, great topics,
Good.
some new players. So that's very dynamic. It's great. It's always good to see.
Good. Well, I know you and I were talking earlier, and you've been with Altus Group for about three and a half years, something like that.
Yep,
and you've been to our conference about 3 times for those 3 years.
Yep.
So you're not new to the conference, but some of our audience may not know that much about you. So let's start with you giving us maybe a little bit of background and what you do at Altus.
Sure. So as Chief Commercial Officer, I essentially look after our technology-led businesses. So there you would probably recognize our Argus business, our valuation management services business, appraisal business up in Canada, and we have a development advisory business in Canada and in Australia that I run. So essentially that is almost the entire company minus our property tax appeal business, which a counterpart runs. So I'm in charge of product, services, solutions, sales, marketing, you name it.
And when you came to Altus, you were not in the commercial real estate industry. You came from somewhere else. So talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, I was a partner at KPMG in the advisory group in the U.S. firm, if you know the Big Four, and there I was running a strategic initiative for the firm that was actually looking to productize their intellectual capital. So if you think about it, there's a lot of work that consulting firms do that is highly repetitive, but in many cases they end up repeating and doing it slightly different for every client that they touch, and they've begun to realize that there's some productization, and my background is in product. So I was a partner in charge of a business called Spectrum that was essentially moving things like lease accounting processes, looking at third-party risk, and all of these things are highly programmatic type of processes, and bring them to clients on a, let's call it an outcome-based, repetitive, as-a-service basis.
Okay. Do you think that your experience and background at KPMG was helpful in coming in and onboarding with Altus?
Yeah, it was massively helpful. Okay. So, I mean, better to be lucky than good when it comes to those things, because it was not planned. But essentially, when you look at, especially a company like Altus that has technology and services, so we have real consulting level of services that are combined with our tech, it was very much akin to what I was looking to do, what I was chartered to do at KPMG. Altus actually gave me the gift of, it was more focused, it was in a specific industry, commercial real estate, but I was able to essentially take out the playbook and go, okay, that's what we're going to do, because I had already tried it.
Right.
And had some experience with it. So it was massively helpful to be at the firm.
Well, coming into Altus, did you find anything about the commercial real estate industry that was surprising to you?
I was surprised on how it really stacked relative to technology against some of its peers. So if you compare it, I've spent a lot of time in banking, financial services, manufacturing, and the fact is commercial real estate was pretty far behind. So that took me aback a bit when I looked at it. I knew that it was, but I didn't know how far back it was at that particular point in time. Now, I looked at it from the perspective of how much benefit we actually could bring to our customers. And of course, that's how I landed attending Realcomm immediately, because this was it. I mean, this is really where the technology components that the industry was going to benefit from were gathering. So definitely took me aback.
Yep.
Yeah.
What are you seeing? What are you hearing from clients? What is your take on the industry? Talk a little bit about about where you think it's going and what's happening now.
You know, there is a recurring theme that I think we've heard every year we're here, and I hear it with clients every day. Data and the quality of data continues to be a massive issue. And I come from the advanced analytics space, even before KPMG. Everybody wants to talk advanced analytics, but the reality is data is still a massive issue, and you can see it. You can see it as a recurring theme even here this year. That problem has not been solved yet.
Right.
So there is lack of standardization. There are still, lots of, I would say, inconsistencies in the technologies that have been deployed. So it remains an issue. You can't really talk about what you can do with data until you actually solve that problem.
Right.
So definitely we see that as a core issue that needs to be resolved for the industry to take the next big leap.
Well, and if data wasn't important on its own already, then you add the AI element and the fact that everything relies, when you're talking about AI relies on the data and the integrity of the data.
100%.
So,
I mean, you can't. I've heard some of the other folks that have been interviewed talk about, the same theme, and the fact is, you can't build a usable large language model if your data is not in a form that is ready to be leveraged, be it in machine learning or generative AI or any of the different components of what is artificial intelligence. So absolutely, it is a key ingredient. At one of my former companies, we used to say that data is where every advanced analytics project goes to die, and it could be more true vis-a-vis what we're seeing in the industry today.
Right. What do you think from Altus' perspective? What do you think is the biggest challenge that your clients are facing? What are you hearing from them in terms of their strategy for the rest of the year, maybe even going into the first half of 2025? Does anything stand out in terms of what they're asking of Altus, and is there big partnerships that you're working on that that play into that big strategy?
Yeah, our client list really includes some of the, if not the top investment firms in the globe, investors in real estate, both open and closed-ended. What they're telling us is they need to get better and faster at the quality, not just at the making of decisions, but the quality of decisions that they're making, be it disposition, acquisitions, or even repurposing of property as they go. So they're just telling us, can you go faster? Can you connect the dots better for us and put us in a better position to get in front of an investment committee when we need to, rather than whenever the outcome can actually be assembled? And that is a tremendous opportunity, but to the question you asked me before, is one that really does go back to, okay, well, let's do a health check on the status of your data, the data that you have, complement it with some of the data that we collect and we bring in, and then we go from there. But it is a tall order what they're asking if they're not committed to go on the journey of really putting everything in place to get to that point where you can make better decisions.
Well, it's good to know too that your real estate clients are looking to you as a partner and to help them solve the problems, and bringing you in early to help you, for you to help them do that, and understanding those issues makes their long-term strategy a lot more successful.
Absolutely.
The propensity for success is much, much higher when you're working together.
Absolutely. And we do not take the trust that our partners put in the work that we bring. We don't take it lightly. We don't take it for granted. That's something you got to earn every day. And Altus is most known for the fact that our focus starts with the valuation of an asset. Well, that is the currency of the industry. So we take that very seriously. And even as partners, actually, partners sometimes are even tougher than non-partners. They remind us every day of what they really need from us to make sure that they are making the right decisions, making the right evaluation of their properties, their portfolios, et cetera. And most definitely, we look at every one of them as a partner.
Great. Well, it was great having you. I think we're out of time, and
very much.
hopefully you will come back and talk to us again.
Hopefully you
but
ask me.
It was great having you. Thank you, and it was good seeing you. Nice to meet you, and enjoy the rest of the show.
Thank you very much. Enjoyed it.
Thank you for being here.